Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Content warnings, disclaimers, and the like is nothing new across the entertainment industry, especially when it comes to the more mature, violent, horrific types of content, whether it's in TV shows, movies, video games, and even music. So this is nothing new, honestly, but it seems, well, with the current atmosphere and the new term, the lovely term, trigger warnings, and how much it's been abused, we seem to have gone a little bit far with how specific we're getting with some of them. I'm speaking about Silent Hill F just recently got showcased, not released, of course not. The trailer came out, and discussion about it is a bit out there. And, well, this is the first thing that came out, a nice little, well, trigger warning, if you will. Now, you look at this and you see Silent Hill F genre, psychological horror, rating ESRB M. M for mature, 17 plus, for intense violence, blood and gore, and partial nudity. Giggity. You would think that would be enough, right? But this particular one gets rather specific. Please read before playing. This game contains depictions of gender discrimination. We need warnings for that? Okay. Child abuse. That can definitely trigger some legitimate PTSD. Bullying? I was bullied throughout high school and a little bit in junior high. I don't really care about that. Drug-induced hallucinations. Huh? We need content warnings for those things. The torture, the graphic violence, the child abuse. Yes, sure, I can agree with those things, but the rest of them has me a little kerfuffled, so to speak. Why are we getting that far? But hey, they want to better inform the purchaser before they purchase it and start playing the game, because who knows, maybe they're trying to avoid all the whinging and complaining on social media. Anyway, this game is set in Japan in the 1960s and contains depictions based on the customs and culture of that time. These depictions do not reflect the opinions or values of the developers or any individuals involved. Do you think the people purchasing this game give a rat's ass? That's essentially my question. You want to, I guess, can this be seen as virtue signaling, a trigger warning, or anything like that? Honestly, like I said, gamers, they don't care. They want to play an entertaining game. Oh no, it's depicted in the 1960s. The game takes place in the 1960s. Oh dear, it's going to behave differently. It's a video game. It's fiction, make-believe, fantasy, and it's a horror game with the Silent Hill name on it. If there's anything, I expect it to be absolutely grotesque and terrifying. Anything less, and it wouldn't be Silent Hill. If you feel uncomfortable at any point while playing, please take a break from playing or speak to someone you trust. I'm sorry, but that might be just a little bit too far for me. That's some of these trigger warnings, some of these, let's call them content warnings, shall we? Use a better terminology, because nobody really likes the term trigger, because, again, it's been overused. That's a little bit far. Speak to someone you trust. If you genuinely suffer from PTSD from any number of these things up above, then perhaps you maybe shouldn't be playing. You should be more selective in the types of games that you play. I don't have a problem with warning the player before they make these purchases to say, hey, because again, you genuinely have people out there that can be affected negatively. Now, all these mature ratings, there was another little article, another little word coming out, because Australia, the wonderful island that doesn't exist, Australia, is censorious and restricted. And Silent Hill F, information came out that it was banned. But apparently that's not entirely true, so I'm a little bit confused. A few people have been reporting on this, but I figured let's dip my hand in it and see what the heck is going on. Read it for myself. Over here, where is this? PC Gamer. Silent Hill F is no longer banned. Well, was it banned? Was it not banned? Is this a misunderstanding of the statements? But it still sounds pretty messed up. Konami psychological horror contains elements the Australian Classification Board has historically frowned upon. I do find this odd because, yes, Australia is censorious. They ban video games left, right, and center if they're too violent, too adult, too whatever, for whatever reason they want. So the report that Australia was not going to be selling Silent Hill F was not a surprise, really, to anyone. Very believable. Update Tuesday, March 25th. This is from the future, ladies and gentlemen. The ban on Silent Hill F has been retracted in Australia. Why are you putting the update at the beginning? The initial ban handed down by the classification board was presumably an automated result. I've reached out for further details. So guess what, Australians, down underins? You still get to play Silent Hill F and get PTSD from all the naughty, nasty, vulgar, disgusting, violent, putrid things that we have come to enjoy from the Silent Hill F series. Original stories, Silent Hill F may not release in Australia thanks to a decision by the country's classification board. The horror reboot has been, quote, refused classification. Not really surprised, but apparently not so much. Which means its content is too extreme for an R18 plus rating. I thought they had a spine in Australia. You would think with a country where pretty much everything's trying to take you out that you wouldn't have such delicate feelings. Too extreme for an R18 plus and thus banned. But again, we're going to go ahead and keep reading the article. As of right now, the organization hasn't explained what's behind the ban. Really? We know Australia. Why are they banning it? Gee, I wonder. Child abuse. Bullying. Well, maybe bullying. Graphic violence. Torture. Gee, I can't imagine why anywhere would want to ban the game that is known for banning the games that are overly violent. It's not hard to join the dots ourselves, though, and Steam's mature content description for Silent Hill is the best place to start. According to that listing, which is filed by Konami, quote, the game contains depiction, blah, blah, blah. We just read that. I just read that right here. That's all the same thing. That covers two areas of the Australian Classification Board doesn't like: drug use and abuse. Really? Child abuse. That's where they stopped. Drug use. Not the torture, not the graphic violence, not the horrific gender discrimination. Maybe they treat the ladies a little rough in the game. Again, it's Silent Hill. Did you play the other games? Do we need these content warnings? Whether implied or otherwise of my... yes, that's the important part. So it's more than likely this little child abuse. Fallout 3 famously fell afoul of the board. Fallout 3 famously fell afoul. Who's the writer on this one? Sean, good job. That was some nice alliteration there. And I lost where I was. Fell afoul of the board's distaste for drugs before the game was tweaked to accommodate Australia's rules. As for the latter, Blade Runner, the Enhanced Edition, and Omega Labyrinth Z, sounds like these are games I need to check out, are recent examples of offenders. ESRB's rating goes into more detail, yada, yada, yada. Set in the 1960s, Silent Hill F will take place in the remote rural town of... Not even going to bother with that one. Sure I am. Ebisu go... Ebi. We're going to go with Ebi. Protagonist Shimizu Hinako, I'm butchering that left and right, quote, must navigate the twisted paths of Ebi, solving complex puzzles, confronting grotesque monsters to survive. Personally, the idea that they could possibly came close to banning it and maybe getting back to, like, legitimately return to form for a Silent Hill game? Abuse, graphic violence, torture. Not sure about the child abuse stuff. Hopefully, depending on how it's depicted, I may not even like it. Who knows? But I am a father, so I am a little biased. But again, like I said, it is make-believe. I think I'm going to put this on my list of day one purchases to definitely check out. Sounds like a fun little romp through horror and macabre, but let me know what you think. So it looks like, before I get to my outro, looks like, according to this little update from the future, they are definitely on a different time zone, because at the time of this recording, I'm still on Monday, and this is from Tuesday. Greetings from the future, ladies and gentlemen. The ban has been retracted, handed down by the classification board, automated results. So, again, Australia, you can still look forward to playing Silent Hill F, as can the rest of us when it releases. Are you going to be playing this game? Are you going to check it out? Are you a little irritated by these content warnings? Hey, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that YouTubers beg you to do. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.